Unless they were the ones that were horrible at it, then they want a chance. Oh. I'm sorry, let me do it. I was having a bad day.
So, if women have sex with a guy on the first date and they have awesome chemistry, is it a sign that the relationship is like on track? And also, if they have terrible chemistry, is it a sign the relationship's doomed?
Well, I'd like to say from a psychological point of view, if it's awesome, then that's great news if their values and their interests and everything else fits. If not, it was just great chemistry. It's going to fade extremely fast. On the other hand, if they had terrible chemistry and their values and interests and desires in life are very comparable or fit, they may have the potential for a relationship. Although I'm not always sure. I think sometimes there's got to be a little bit of energy that we call sexual energy. If that's really flat, I'm not so sure.
It's hard to go back.
Yeah. Well, I've had lots of conversations with women that have been absolutely disappointed after they've met this fabulous guy, awesome date, got in the sack and was flat. So those relationships weren't doomed. It was very disappointing, but it depends, you know, on all those other comparable compatibilities. But definitely sexual chemistry, if it's not good in that area, you either need to be willing to work on it. And so early on in a relationship, I'm not sure that many people would be that willing to work on it if it was like that bad.
Unless you're a king and a queen.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a dynasty at stake.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with both of you. Like, if there has to be chemistry, in my opinion, there has to be chemistry on what level that sexual interaction was on. If it's totally flat, yeah, I mean, you probably need to take a look at how do you want to make it better. But I also think that it takes a couple tries, right? So not to make the assumption right off of the first time, if the values and interests and the guy feels great to you, to not just take it off the table because the sex was bad on the first try. You know, okay, now if the sex is bad a couple months later and you've had sex multiple times, then I think it's on the table to think about, is this a match? Does this feel right for me?
And the same to that point on mind-blowing sex, especially for men and women, oh, it doesn't matter how compatible you are. We have great sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And everybody wants to have great sex.
Sure.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that it's the right match.
That's right.
No, and too many people stay in relationships for the wrong reason. And that's one of them.
Yes. Chemistry, I always tell my clients, if you can't kiss chemistry goodbye, not that they shouldn't have chemistry with whoever they're dating, but that when they use that as the only measure and they have to feel that spark immediately or they don't want to go out with the guy, I think sometimes they're just really cutting themselves off from opportunities because not all chemistry happens instantly, and the ones that are really hot and have a lot of sparks for initially, like you said, often sizzle. They sizzle really fast, flash in the pan, and then it's over. So I don't think chemistry, that hot chemistry, is always a sign for lasting relationship at all.
Is this different for men or women? I've always read that women are more inclined to try having sex a couple times if the chemistry's not perfect, but men not so much. Like, if it doesn't work the first time you do it.
Well, unless they were the ones that were horrible at it, then they want a chance. I'm sorry, let me do it. I was having a bad day, right? I was having a bad day, you know, so that, I think, happens more.
But in general, are guys willing to keep trying?
Sometimes they have a conquer effect
I
happening.
think it's their ego. If they're having bad sex, for a lot of guys, if they're willing to please, and that's what we say most men are looking for, is to make you happy, then they want a chance to fix it.
Yeah.
Well, what about if a guy doesn't feel the chemistry with you? So he has sex with you, and the chemistry's not there.
No,
I think he's gone.
I think he's gone too.
So we all agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Okay, so it sounds like in the end, if there's, you know, not so great chemistry in the beginning, it sounds like this panel thinks we should give it another whirl, try another day in court. But if there's mind-blowing chemistry, don't put the bank on it. Doesn't mean that the guy's going to make a great relationship.